Pro players in competitive COD are usually lumped into one of two categories: assault rifles or SMGs. However, teams will typically recruit at least one player who can flex to both roles.
The kill comes through, but Bruce, big Bruce, the biggest of Bruce's finds two, a third kill from Dashy. That is obscene.
But due to the ever-changing nature of competitive Call of Duty, this flex role can be tricky to define. In Cold War, teams typically run a 2 AR, 2 SMG comp across the respawns. So nowadays, flex is typically used to describe the team's second AR. The AR who plays a bit more forward, roams a tad more on the map, but is still ready to switch to an SMG at any second. These flex players are the ultimate X factor for their team. To be ready for anything is no small task, but to excel at everything, that's an accomplishment we can only credit to a select few. Here are our picks for the 3 flex players you should watch closely during playoffs. Ever since Awakening was recruited by the Florida Mutineers halfway through the 2020 season, we've come to recognize him as the player to watch whenever the Mutineers are in a bind.
2 big kills, gets the third as well. Big Wake, is he able to get this kill? Oh, Awakening! Oh my goodness!
With the team running such an aggressive front line in Havoc and Neptune, it puts a lot of extra pressure on Awakening to keep pace with the subs while running an AR himself. Should that front line fall and a couple of enemies slip through, it's on Awakening to go big and score that 2 or 3 piece to reset the map. And boy oh boy, does he go big a lot.
Awakening on the flank, another big one for Big Wake, and that's now going to be 9 in a row, make it 10.
Awakening's consistency in punishing mispositioned opponents is what makes him such a threat in every match, but it makes him especially deadly in the controls.
Oh my word, he broke Looney's ankles. Oh my god! Big Wake! Unbelievable stuff from Big Wake. Wow!
Control is the only mode in which team spawns don't flip from one side to another mid-game, so it gives players the chance to abuse the bottlenecks leading out of the enemy spawn. Getting full value out of these engagement windows is a tough feat for any COD pro, but for Big Wake, it's no biggie at all. Across the first 4 stages, Awakening proved himself to be one of the most oppressive control players in the entire league. What makes Big Wake such a big threat is the fact that he rarely chokes a kill. If the time you're on his screen is longer than the time to kill of whatever weapon he's running, you're probably dead. When a monster can't miss and he's on the attack, then who is the player who can even fight back? The answer?
Mack, 3 in a row. God, he has been unreal.
The start of the 2021 season saw the New York Subliners battling a myriad of roster woes. From an injury-forced retirement to a star rookie stuck in visa purgatory, these early season setbacks forced a number of roster and role shuffles for the NYSL. Luckily for New York, Mack was fully capable and even insistent on running the second SMG instead of the second AR. While Mack's ability to flex helped NYSL get through the early part of the season, the team still wasn't getting the results they wanted. It wasn't until their rookie HyDra finally made it to the US and onto the starting roster that things really started shifting for NYSL.
One catches, one got a piece, one. Okay, one behind you.
Mack wins it. Oh, good timing from Mack.
With HyDra entering as an SMG and Mack swapping back to the second AR, the New York Subliners had finally figured out their recipe for success. With the team looking far more comfortable on the map, Mack hit a completely new stride with a particularly brutal affinity for the hardpoints. One of Mack's best hardpoint performances came in Week 2 of Stage 4 against the Dallas Empire. Across the brutal 5-map series, we saw Mack drop 40+ in both of the hardpoints.
Nice snap and read there from Mack, just electric. You don't usually see double 40s through the hardpoints.
He didn't just pop off that one time though. In fact, across Stage 4, Mack was the most lethal hardpoint player across the entire league.
Mack, talk about the big plays. He absolutely delivers for the team.
There aren't many who can stand up to Mack when he hits a flow and just starts melting. To conquer the wrath of the Mack requires a player who's just as smart just as flexible, and perhaps just a bit more slippery. FaZe up for young MC.
4 now for Cellium. Whoa, 5 for Cellium. Oh my god. 6. Cellium cannot be stopped.
Now, when we say that Cellium is the quintessential COD nerd, we say it out of respect. When you watch Cellium play, you can just tell that this young man lives and breathes Call of Duty 24/7.
Oh my god, Cellium playing with his food. He eats him alive.
His utilization of obscure power positions, his mastery of mechanical nuances, and his uncanny game sense are always on full display anytime the observers take his POV.
Cellium though, Cellium though, Cellium!
Now it's 1v2 for Cell to end it here. Into a 1v1. He spotted him. He spotted him, and the beams are in. Cell clutches the 1v2.
We can go on and on about what makes Cellium special, but the one thing you need to know about him is that he's the ultimate clutch player. Cellium is the last player you want to see in a 1vx versus your favorite team in a search and destroy. He is a bona fide master at playing his life and isolating players one by one as he rips his way across the map. When it comes to competitive Call of Duty, it's almost expected of a player to be able to trade a teammate's death, aka get the 1-for-1. But Cellium isn't just going 1-for-1. He's often going 2 or 3-for-1 in scenarios where most other players would have died after the first. The fact that he's one of the hardest kills on the map is even scarier to consider when you remember that he's surrounded by a superstar roster of slayers. If you somehow manage to get past the front line of Simp and aBeZy and stay hidden from the AR of Arcitys, it's only a matter of time before Cellium sniffs you out.
Hey, a little drop shot, hop, skippy, do whatever you want to call it.
There you have it, our 3 flex players to watch during playoffs. Is there a flex you didn't see that you think should have been highlighted? Let us know in the comments below.